Hi, thanks for clicking on the link. My name is Ryan Tegnelia. I'm a local San Diego criminal defense attorney. And by clicking on this link, I see that you're interested in domestic violence cases. First of all, just something everybody should know is that literally every crime can be a domestic violence case. The only difference between domestic violence cases and other, say vandalism cases is that the alleged victim is the significant other or a former romantic partner of the defendant. At the get-go, something people should know, and their very first concern is usually the fact that you will likely be kicked out of your own house. If you, obviously, domestic violence, the individuals often live together and cohabitate. Upon the report of a domestic violence incident, one of the first things the police are going to do is they are going to serve what's called a protective order on the accused individual. And that is going to include that you have to stay 100 yards away from the alleged victim. If you live together, you got to go. Okay. So one of the very first things people are concerned with is getting back in their home. Now, assuming, because to point this out, I'm not going to say vast majority, but it is not at all uncommon for couples to stay together even after a domestic violence situation. Not saying that it's inappropriate, but in your more severe cases, obviously that's not usually the case. But you would be surprised how minor the conduct can be that will end up with someone being charged with domestic violence. Breaking a television, as an example. Again, vandalism, domestic violence, still going to get charged, still going to get a protective order, still got to get out of your house, right? So again, all crimes can be domestic violence just based on the victim. So minor offenses as well as major ones. There are things you can do from the very beginning of the case to facilitate getting back in the home and being able to even talk with your significant other, be that to either forward the romantic relationship or what is common is providing for the children. So it is very important to contact a defense attorney to see if you can facilitate and make sure they know how to facilitate that reunification. Number two is it's really important in domestic violence cases to get an attorney involved at the very beginning. And the reason why that is it is not at all uncommon for there to be underlying stresses in the relationship that give rise to accusations of domestic violence. A very common one is a separation accompanied by custody of the children. And so there's a really nasty custody battle going over, or one individual wants to leave the state and they find out that, if I get a restraining order granted, then the presumption is I get to leave with the kids. And one way to get a restraining order is to accuse someone of domestic violence, right? So those details, while they may be present, might not make it into the police report, okay? And so from a prosecutor's perspective, they're reading this case and all they see is what's in the police report. They see the four corners of the report. That's it. If you didn't give your side of the story because you had left, or if you had just given your side of the story as it pertains to the incident, all this other stuff over here, all the motivating factors behind the accusation, they're not going to make it into the report. And believe me, prosecutors, they do take that stuff into account. They do take into account when there are ulterior motives for accusations like that. They do not like it when they have their case, which they think is in these four corners, and then all of a sudden this giant mud ball shows up because it turns out there's been 6 months worth of a custody battle that is either not going in the alleged victim's favor or just isn't resolving and is taking too long, and they're trying to use law enforcement to further their domestic ends. Prosecutors do not like that, and they will routinely reject cases, meaning they won't even file charges against the individual if they think there are ulterior motives at play. So it is important to get an attorney involved very quickly so they can find out what, if any of those other factors are present in your case, and to present them to the prosecutor to make sure that they are aware of them prior to filing the case. If you'd like to talk to me about it, you can either leave a comment in the comments section. I'll be more than happy to get back to you, or you can give me a call at 619-577-0868.